Everybody, today I wanted to welcome Lori Curley. She is with Forever Inc. and you have heard me talk about it. If you've been in my community for a while, it is something I started offering to my clients to give them permanent storage of their images. But I brought Lori on today to talk to you about the business aspect because she has been in business probably 10 years longer than I have. And for people just starting out, I think it's important to learn from someone else other than me in a completely different company to hear how she's transitioned her business over the years. So, Lori, you want to talk about yourself and all of that good stuff, and then we'll get into it?
Sure, sure. Just a little bit about me. I'm married. My husband and I have three grown kids, two little grandkids with a third one on the way. And after 31 years, I still love what I do. You didn't know that, huh?
I didn't. I don't think
There's a
so.
little secret, right?
Oh,
A little girl on the way. So we're very
oh,
excited about that. So yeah, so I started my business 31 years ago when my kids, who are all in their mid 30s, were 2, 4, and 5. They were little, and I found a scrapbooking company that just I was so excited about because I always have loved my photos, and I knew that preserving those photos and telling the story through scrapbooks, because I had done other scrapbooks for years, was really important, and I wanted to help other people do that. And I will say that at the beginning, I did not realize that it could be a business, and I especially did not realize that I would be doing this 31 years later. That I did not know. So when I started, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I, was happy doing that. I mean, when I found this company, I realized that, it gave me an opportunity to get out with adults and to help other people. And pretty quickly, I realized that this could be a business. Didn't again know that it would be 31 years later, but I did realize that it was something that I really wanted to do. So I started that as a business, and then over time, as my kids got older, I was able to add more time to my business and spend more time, because when they were little, they were little, and little ones require a lot of time. So I was able to grow my business as they went into elementary school and middle school and into high school and well into college. After 23 years with that company, the company closed. They did eventually reopen under a same name, but a different company. But I had already decided to move on. So I found another company that didn't fit me. It helped me help my clients for a while, but it wasn't fulfilling to me. So when I found Forever, I knew I knew very quickly that this is what I wanted to do. And I know that, as we've gone from film in our cameras to digital cameras, that people need help with that. So many people just don't know what to do. And I know, Michelle, you're all about that too.
mhm.
They just don't know what to do with their photos. They don't know how to protect them. They don't know how to save them. They don't know how to share them with family members. And they sure don't know how to celebrate them. So it has been a lot of fun these past 7.5 years to learn more about technology, which, I'm not one of the young moms out there. I'm a little bit older mom, and I have learned a lot about technology and really enjoy it now. So that's a little bit about me. I guess a little bit about Forever. Is that what we would like to do next?
Yeah, we can do that. I wanted to talk about one of the things that you said that you really didn't know it was going to be a business for 33 years. And when I started my company, I wasn't a mom. I didn't even really consider it a company. It was just something I did to make a little bit of extra money. And I think for people starting out, they need to understand they don't have to figure it all out and know what they're going to be doing in 25 or 30 years, because neither one of us, I don't think, would have thought we would still be doing what we do now. And I heard something recently, and people, they were like, I just need the confidence to get started. And I don't think it's the confidence they need, it's the courage. And you just really have to figure out your next step. So
I
go
agree.
ahead.
Yeah, I think the confidence comes. I think that grows. And I'm all about education when I help my clients. And I think that that's super important. And that education and learning builds confidence. But you're right, it's the courage. And did we have the answers 25 and 31 years ago? No, we didn't have all the answers. Did we know what was to come? Did we know what were going to be even best practices at that point to make our business successful? No, but we learned as we went. And I think that that's a big part of what's important for everyone.
So talk a little bit about Forever and what Forever does, because it's something I started offering to my clients, not as a money maker, but as a service,
Right.
because I can give all of my clients 2 gigs of digital storage and a $20 gift certificate for printing. And for the people that are non-tech savvy, it's important that you represent the company. And it's important that to me, that I save my clients' images so I know they're never lost. So go ahead and
Right,
talk a
that's
little bit
right.
about that.
Yeah, and permanent storage is Forever's signature product. That's why the company started, because actually our CEO was looking for a place to keep videos and interviews that he had done of his grandparents from back in the 80s after he came back from the Gulf War, and he couldn't find anything. He couldn't find anything that was permanent and was going to help those people far into their lifetime and hopefully generations to come. So he created Forever, and so permanent cloud storage is our signature product. I also help people to digitize outdated slides, photos, negatives, VHS tapes, all those things that, we've had around for 20, 30, 40, 50, many, many more years, and maybe don't know what to do with them or can't watch them. So that's something I get a lot of satisfaction about too. And then we also have online software where you can create photo books and other photo gifts like wall art and mugs. And I have a mug right here, a photo mug, and all sorts of different things you can do that with. And so that's a way to celebrate your memories. And it's super easy. Think of the fly and the fish, and except you've got better quality and great customer service from Forever Ambassador.
One of the things, and it actually, she got it yesterday, one of the students in the academy, we just finished off the branding portion, the module, and hers was beyond gorgeous. And just to give her a pat on the back and tell her how much I appreciated her, I took the logo that she submitted to me and put it on a mug and had it mailed to her. And she is over the moon excited. She sent me a picture of the final product, and I've never seen something I created in person. I've seen yours,
Yeah.
but it was just really neat to see how gorgeous it was.
And isn't that a great feeling when you give somebody a photo gift, even though hers was her logo, but to her,
Right.
that's a really
That's
important piece. So
yeah,
it's a wonderful feeling too.
that's
Yeah.
huge. So a lot of the people that I work with are newer moms, younger moms, much younger than both of us. And they are trying to manage kids, whether they're still at home or some are at home and some are in elementary school, and trying to figure out how they could even find the time. Do you want to share some of the tips that you did when you were starting out with the younger moms?
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, my kids were little and, they weren't quite babies, but they were very active. And, 2, 4, and 5-year-olds are pretty darn active. So one of the things that I would do would be to find an hour, an evening once or twice a week, or maybe a couple of hours on a Saturday where I could then it was phone calls. Things may be a little different with technology now. We do a lot of texting. And of course, email didn't even exist 31 years ago. But whatever it is that helps you to reach out to people, I would get your significant other on board with that, so that you have some time where he or she or whoever it may be can watch those children for you and just give you a little bit of time. As they get a little older, I say bring them in, get them to be part of it, help them understand that when mommy's on the phone, she needs a few minutes. Okay, give me a few minutes. And that they don't interrupt. They may let you know by, oh, mom, I need you, but it doesn't have to be a screaming, yelling, match like that. So get them involved. And then one of the things that I did when my kids were all in elementary school, they would come home and they'd always have sports or activities, and I might have had a class that I was teaching. And so I told them at one point, listen, if you come home and you get to your homework or whatever chores they were to do, and I can get ready for my class and we have a peaceful afternoon right before I have to leave, every time I go to an event, I'm going to put $20 bill. Again, times have changed. $20 bill in a little jar in the cupboard in our kitchen. And then in the summer, I told them we could go somewhere that they wanted to go. So we did that. And I forget if I had 420 or $450. And this was, 25 years ago, probably. And we went to Washington, D.C. And I made sure we paid cash for as many things as possible, so they knew right there where that came from. And they helped make the decision about where we went to, what sites we saw. And so it was a great time. And it really, I think it was a lasting lesson for them in that it helped them over time to remember, you know what mom does is important. And so we need to help her. I will tell you one of the things that I'm sure, Michelle, you're seeing right now is I did not realize how much what I did having my own business would impact my children as they got older and became adults.
Mhm.
Okay. Because they now understand what hard work is. And I
Yeah.
mentioned to you that I grew up on a dairy farm. So I feel
Mhm.
like my dad was kind of the ultimate entrepreneur because you can't control the weather, right? So much you can't control. So fortunately, I'm not in that situation, but my kids have really watched me grow and build and stay committed and working hard through moving a couple times and changing companies. And I realize as they have gotten older how much that impacted them in a positive way. And I never expected that. Never expected it.
Um, the one of the things, and my kids are 16 and up now, when COVID hit, and of course we didn't know what was going to happen. And my oldest was getting ready to graduate high school, and for her graduation gift, we were going to Mexico. And so when it hit, and she worked at TJ Maxx and everything shut down, and we didn't know the scope of what was going to be closed, but she was really worried about not having spending money in Mexico. And so, she couldn't work at TJ Maxx anymore because the store was closed. So she sat down, figured out a plan. She started doing DoorDash. She knew that I would not like her traveling to places by herself. So she paid her brother to ride with her. And so there would be two of them. And then she would pull up at the house. He would run and stick the stuff on the porch and they would leave. And that's how she earned her money. And had she not seen, me and through the ups and downs thinking, well, let's see, this isn't working. I need to shift. I don't think that would have ever happened. And
Right.
all of my kids are hard workers, and I do think it's a big impact on what they've seen me do over the years.
I agree. I agree. And I think that you've taught great lessons and that's going to carry them far into the future, not just in their late teens or early 20s. It's going to carry them far into the future. Yeah.
So, when you started out, did you have any fears, or was it, can you think of what it took to get you to sign that first piece of paper to start a business?
You know what? I didn't have any fears because I honestly didn't understand what direct sales was and what it could be as a business. Now, there were times later on when I had some fears. Of course, when my companies changed, there were some fears there because I was going into the unknown and just didn't know what to expect. And on the other hand, I knew how to build a business. So, how do you make that happen? How do you translate that into action and results? So there were some fears there, but not at the beginning because I just didn't understand, quite honestly. And might be a good thing that I didn't understand.
Yes. Yeah, I had no idea when I started out. I just wanted to make a little bit of extra money and I like taking pictures, which kind of
Yeah,
goes back to you don't have to figure it all out in the
right.
beginning. So talk to me about how you transitioned your client base. Because one of the things that I teach in the mentorship program is starting an email list from the very beginning, and staying in contact with your clients. Because now that I've been in business for going on 23 years, I've shot weddings and then I've shot that couple's kids. I've shot kids and then I shot their weddings when they got old enough. So it's been great, and I don't think anybody does it better than you as far as staying in contact because of the transition. So even though the companies were going up and down, I always knew what you were doing, and because you're so helpful and you stayed in touch, I was on board no matter where you went. So.
Well, and I think that, and first of all, thank you, but I think that it's important to remember that it's you, not just your company name, not just whatever company you represent, it's you. you're the one that people want to stay in touch with, and the one that they value the relationship. So I think that really is what it's all about, is building those relationships. So, as I meet people, I try to remember names. I try to make notes maybe about their families, about their kids, and what's going on in their life. And first of all, that makes it easier when I reach out to them again, but also it just starts to build that relationship and strengthen it, and give me more credibility, because they understand that I care about them. And I do. I mean, there are people, in fact, earlier I had a call from a woman who was my boy's fifth grade teacher. So
Oh,
this is about 20, probably 26, 27 years ago. And she became a very good friend, but we moved from Pennsylvania to Virginia. Well, her daughter is a very good client of mine, and she wanted to purchase some storage for her for Christmas. But you know what? We don't talk maybe once a year, maybe less than that. But we picked up the phone and we're catching up and we're visiting. And it's not only, she did become a friend too, but it was a relationship, a teacher student, or teacher parent relationship. And then also a client relationship for me at first, but it became more of a friend relationship eventually. But again, it's because of the relationship and the effort to get to know each other.
one of the concerns that new photographers have is they're stepping into an oversaturated market. And when I started doing business coaching for photographers, everybody kind of thought I was a little crazy, like I was giving away my clients. And most of my clients are across the United States and things like that. But the ones that are local, there's a husband and wife team, and I shot her senior portraits, and then I shot their wedding. And then when they needed help with their business, they came to me. And there's things that I don't do, like I don't offer mini sessions anymore, but they do. So when my clients are texting me, I'm sending them that way. But the core base of my clients, they might need a mini session here and there, things that I don't do. But when it comes down to it, the important milestones, they want me to shoot it. And so as long as you keep that and they know what you're about, it carries you through. I think that's important.
Right, and I think that's important. They trust you, obviously, but I think the other thing that they know about you, and you know about yourself, is what you're good at. And I
Mhm.
think that's important for people who are in business to understand. And I do some networking, and people will say, "I want to meet everyone who takes photos." Well, you know what? I can say that. I try not to say that, because everybody who takes photos doesn't value them enough to do something with them. So I really want to meet people who value their photos and want to do something. Or I can narrow it down if I'm focusing on digitization or on print. And I think that that's important too, to remember that it's okay to be specific. You may meet more people who are a better fit for your business if you're more specific, versus being very general and saying, I want to meet people, in your case, who want their photo taken, right? I mean, because not everybody is your ideal client.
Yeah, so that's actually what we worked on in the last module, was the ideal client. And new photographers, and I get it, they want to focus on everything because they don't really know what they enjoy. And I ran the gamut. I mean, for a while I was shooting 30 weddings, 40 weddings a year, and I was the wedding photographer. And then I got tired of working weekends, and now I'm the real estate photographer. But I got really good at one thing at a time, and then you can expand it.
Well, and then
So
you can expand it, but you can also narrow it down to what you really want to do, right?
right,
And
yeah.
that's like,
So it's like, and no offense to any of my brides and grooms, I really do not like to shoot newborns. And because they cry on me, and there's so many more people that do it better than me. So if it's a bride and groom, I love shooting their newborns, just to get that history. And normally I'll do the newborn and the first year photos. But then anybody else that calls that I don't know, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a newborn photographer.
it's awesome to know yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite my thing. So what else is it that you want to share with us that new photographers or new business owners starting out
Yeah.
might
You know,
need
a
to
couple
know?
things that I've thought of as being flexible, and I think that we talked already a little bit about that with my change in business and companies that I was, working with. But be flexible. Don't be afraid to make a change. I mean, sometimes it's by choice and other times it's by necessity. And there's nothing wrong with that because it often will get you to a better place. But just go with the flow, go with the flow. I'm in a networking group, and when I had to make those couple changes, the group just stayed with me. And I think part of it was because I was flexible and I didn't have a choice, but I also tried to have the best attitude about it. And I think that that really helped people. And then the other thing I would say is evaluate and reevaluate. So sit down. Like this time of year, I'm thinking about my goals for 2023. And my first thing is to sit down and look at what I've been doing this year. What have I done this year that's gone well? What's not gone so well? What went okay, but maybe could be better that I could improve upon. And then I start to dive into my strategy and my goals for the next year. So evaluate and reevaluate. And then I think the really important thing is it's always too soon to quit. It's just too soon to quit. I mean, you don't know what's right around the corner. And yes, maybe sometimes we have to make that decision that this just isn't right. This isn't the right thing for me. It's not the right position, whatever. But generally, I'm going to say if you love what you do and you're passionate about it, it's too soon to quit.
I want to add that always ask for help.
Thank you.
Because I know as a new photographer, I didn't want to tell people I didn't know what aperture meant. So I was afraid to talk to other photographers. But talking to your husband or your significant other or whoever can only get you so far. So always talk with a business owner that can, a seasoned business owner that can get you there. I mean, you're my go-to. Anytime I start something new, which is probably 10 times a year, and I only do one of them, but I send a message to you. Hey, I'm thinking about something new. Can you call me?
Well, you know what? Isn't that a great thing to have somebody that you can collaborate with like that, that you can trust, and they're going to tell you, yeah, maybe not, or well, what if you did this a little bit differently? And I think that we both do that for each other, and I think it's a wonderful thing to have that.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. And, I will be talking to you soon because I got lots of ideas for the new year.
You are very welcome. I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you.